Bears fans YouTube, welcome back to another episode of Bears Fans Talk. Johnny CMD here as always with the main event, Kevin Haggerty. If you are new here, we cover weekly-ish Bears fans content throughout the off-season. We're going to be coming to you with breaking news. So if you're new here, please like, comment, subscribe. Helps us boost the podcast. I really appreciate you for clicking on. But big news coming out of the free agency just right from the jump, and this tampering period, which I don't quite understand. So I think tomorrow is actually the first true day of free agency. Will be the day of releasing this. But Monday morning, Bears hot off the jump. Drew Dahlman completely flipped the offensive line. So we have an entire new interior. I mean, we still have the same tackles they were rolling with last year, but I think they were a little bit less of the problem. We've got a new defensive end that we're going to talk about. We got a new defensive tackle that we're going to talk about. And then I also want to give you the opportunity, because we've been teasing this topic for the last couple of weeks, is try and pitch me on the Bears taking Ashton Jeanty overall. And then we're going to spend some time talking about some of the other big free agency moves. Justin Fields to the Jets.
So JF2. Is he going to be JF3, you think?
I think he should be JF3
yeah,
for the memes.
Yeah.
I'd respect him so much more.
If he went to JF3?
Yes.
I think he's going to be JF3.
So yeah, we'll get to that. So to start off with, well, first, Kevin, how are you doing? How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I'm getting excited. Coming up on some paternity leave here in a few weeks. So
nice.
Take the second half.
I forgot that you were doing that way.
Yeah, I'm going to enjoy it with my son, so looking forward to that. So getting through the work. But, honestly, though, this time of the year, I do want to make a comment.
Are you going to have a St. Patrick's Day party?
We're not this year. It's hard with it.
I don't think you did last year either, did you?
We didn't. We're going to do it next year, though. We used to have these huge St. Patrick's Day parties.
Green keg and all.
Green keg and all, yeah. But we're going to do it next year. We've already decided. But we're going to do a kid-friendly twist on it, I think. Because there's a lot more kids now, I think. But it's going to be fun. We're going to bring it back for 2026. But what I do want to mention,
You're invited. Comment below and you'll be invited to the party.
It's 100%.
Comment your address and social security number. And
Please. I was going to mention, though, that, it's crazy, though, that, baseball's in full swing right now, but...
I wouldn't say baseball's in full swing.
It's like spring training. We're about to start up, right? And
MLB The Show comes out Thursday night.
I didn't get into it that one.
I bought it last year, actually.
We didn't play it that much.
I just can't sit down and play video games anymore, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was fine.
It was okay. I think the NCAA was better, but anyways, with that, and then the NBA is going on and everything there, but still, NFL is dominating all headlines right now.
But you know what? It's because it's the free agency.
But
a week from now, we might have nothing to talk about. We'll be being
draft.
The draft. How far is the draft
April?
to? Is it? Yeah, I remember this time last year we had the countdown to the draft.
It's
and we just needed. This time last year we were just we need to figure out this Justin Fields situation. Just just a different lifetime. NFL draft.
I bet you it's April 10th.
I feel like it's later in April than that.
Is it? It's before Easter.
April 24th in Green Bay.
Right after.
So we're still looking at 6 weeks to the draft. So there's definitely going to be a lull in there where we're just going to be talking about the WNBA and are the White Sox going to repeat to be the worst? Are the 2024 and 2025 White Sox going to go down as the two worst teams in MLB history?
There's a possibility that is accurate.
Yeah.
But anyways, the Bears are just, dude. I think I want to start off with this quote that I heard today that I think is great. It speaks exactly what the Bears are doing, and it is the further away you get from the ball, the further away from football you get. And the Bears' focus this offseason was the interior on both sides of the line, completely revamping their center and their two guards, and then getting a tackle and a defensive end. It was cool getting Keenan Allen last year, and it was cool getting drafting DeAndre Swift and all that stuff. But we saw the core fundamentals of the Bears were broken, and these skill players can't thrive without the boys up front.
It is very reassuring to we went into this free agency opening knowing exactly what the Bears needed, and Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson, they went out and did exactly that. They got guys for the positions that we know we need.
Yes.
So we're going to start with Drew Dahlman, who is now the second highest paid center in the NFL.
What was my first comment when you brought up his picture?
He looks like an offensive lineman. He looks like the guy you want blocking.
I want that musky man blocking for me. That guy, I can just smell him looking at him.
So Drew Dahlman coming from Atlanta.
Prime of his career. I think he's like 26, 27. Like super highly rated guy. Like, like very well respected. Like supposedly like a guy you build an offensive line.
He was the clear, like, I'm not sure how many centers were out there. Like, we talked a lot in, weeks past that, these offensive linemen, the great ones don't really move. Mm-hmm. And I think Big Cat actually, I forget where I saw that, kind of made the point, like, hey, you can be really excited, but, you got to be skeptical of these people you're getting from free agency. If Drew Dahlman was so great, why didn't he stay in Atlanta? Which I don't know the details of that.
Let's talk about it though. I mean, they give a lot of money to Kirk Cousins.
That's true.
So like when you make a bad deal like that, you're going to be suffering.
That's what I hope for. That's what I hope the answer to this is.
But I agree. I kind of agree with that concept. I did want to bring that up. Kind of. We can let's talk pros before we move to cons.
Yeah.
Potential cons. But yes, I agree. That was in my head too. But he all metrics are, and it's hard. Here's the other thing. It's hard to judge non-skill position players because, like, I mean, you see a highlight tape of an offensive lineman blocking. It's like, neat.
So looking at the PFF grading, I mean, he's above average in pass blocking. Run blocking is even better. I think he allowed something like 10 pressures. I think I saw only like 3 penalties. So it's a good, solid guy. This is a clear upgrade from what we had before. Coleman Shelton was one of those guys in the first couple of weeks that we were playing, just all these like clips of him just like completely whiffing on blocks, falling down.
Yes.
Like, so all 3 of the positions that we filled so far on the offensive line are clear upgrades. We're paying, it's for Drew Dahlman $42 million.
3 years, $42 million, 28
So yeah, it's only 3 years too.
That's a lot of money.
So I mean, it's a relatively short period of time.
Kind of lines up with Caleb's contract too. So like the hope is though is that, and we talked about the 2 centers the 2 guards that they picked up already, right? But like the hope is that like you can create a cohesive offensive line.
Yeah.
I want to see all 5 of these guys start all 5 games or all 17 games, and like I'm glad they got them in here early. And like, dude, I want them like doing boy things, man. Go to Wisconsin Dells with the family and just like
Wisconsin Dells.
I'm just saying, like, go down the tube slide together, like one of those double tubes, and get plowed and have a good time.
Going during the summer, going to those dope ass water parks.
Yeah, dude, like just do bro things and just like become boys.
Make sure you pack extra set of clothes.
Yeah,
it's the worst thing in the world. Like like you're going down the flume. I guess you're dressed in a bathing suit. When you go to the water
dude.
Park. But like you go to Six Flags and you do a water ride,
and then you just got
like swamp ass for the rest of the time.
I mean that sucks.
It does suck.
Oh, I mean,
I just don't want to see that happen to the boys.
I just want them to be boys. Whatever.
No, me too.
Whatever they do, but I want them to do fun stuff like that.
Yeah, me too, Kevin. So I'm not even going to get too much into the money, because here's the thing: if the Bears needed to spend this money, they needed to spend it on guys who've been there, who can develop a presence, build that locker room, build that culture. So I don't even care this right because right now we're not paying Caleb. Spend the money superfluously elsewhere, and like keep all the contracts short enough so that when it is Caleb's turn to get paid, that doesn't become an obstacle. So you can decide if you want to give Drew Dahlman, like guys like him, another contract, like if he's earned that in the next step. But also, hopefully, Caleb Williams is going to be that guy who's going to be resetting the market in 3 or 4 years.
So let's talk a little bit more about the other free agency signings, because I do want to come back to that concept of like contract timing and stuff like that.
So Dahlman, I think, was probably the clear best of what we've gotten so far.
Yes.
Deo,
the highlight was
Odeyingbo.
There you go.
Is kind of like a more interesting one. So this is his first big money contract coming off his rookie deal. And I was reading a great article from Courtney Cronin, just kind of because I don't know much about this guy. So basically, they feel like he's not a finished product. He's only got 19 starts. He's only got 16 and a half sacks in his 4 years. Last year was not his best year. I think 2 years ago he had 8. So that's like kind of the peak of his productivity so far. That being said, he hasn't been like a full-time starter for most of his career so far. But I've also been reading that he's got like versatility. He can play on the inside. He can play on the outside. And again, he seems like a guy that they have some hope that if he's playing opposite someone like Montez Sweat,
Sure.
could probably make a little bit more noise.
Well, first of all, I want to see some more out of Montez Sweat next year.
Definitely.
To be frank, let's just start with there.
Mm-hmm.
But second of all, so he got 3 years, $48 million, $32 million of that's guaranteed. Yeah, he's not a finished product. I mean, this is one of the guys I feel like. Who's the guy they drafted in the defensive end that they drafted during the draft in the 5th round that they moved up from?
This past year?
Yes.
Oh, it wasn't Dexter. It was a Walker.
Yeah, but the point being is it seems like kind of like, I'm not saying a project, someone who's not as further along than
Yes.
Austin
Booker
from Kansas.
Booker,
yeah,
yes.
remember they're like, this guy could be great, right?
Yeah, but they need some more time. They're gonna need some time to.
It feels like this is Austin Booker in 4 or 5 years, right? Like you're signing him based on his potential. His metrics probably look great. He's, probably got a good motor. I think it's. Let's just jump into what I think. You're just paying more money for these guys in free agency, especially day 1, day 2.
Yeah.
And these are their second contracts, and they're proving that they can make it in the league, but I feel like it's hard for someone to go way past their ceiling. You know what you're gonna get, but you've been in the league for 4 years. You're a good football player, a solid football player, and you earned your contract. But I don't think we can expect this guy to be a Pro Bowl.
No, here's what I'm saying. Here's my thought when I saw this. Is I was still really hoping that we were going to make some sort of splash and make a trade for the Trey Hendricks.
Sure.
Hendrickson?
Yeah, or Max Crosby.
Yeah, something like that. I think Chase Young was kind of also out there.
Yeah.
Not Joey Bosa. Which Bosa is the Bosa that we talked about last?
Yeah, Joey Bosa.
Is it Joey Bosa? The one
Nick's the better looking one.
Yes. So I was kind of hoping. Even Khalil Mack kind of felt a little bit more. And I think these big money moves kind of takes that off the table, and it makes me a little bit. Because I think Odiengbo might just be more of a depth player.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
we kind of fell into the trap last year. Is we did sign some offensive linemen last year. And we were like, okay, maybe they could be pretty good. But I think even at the time, I knew that Coleman Shelton was going to be depth.
Okay.
But then he ended up being the only option we had, and it failed.
Yes.
So.
Let's talk about the last free agent signing. It's Grady Jarrett.
Yes.
So this guy used to be pretty good. He's on the back end of his career, 10 seasons.
He's 32.
Yeah, 10 seasons already.
But never had more than, I think, 7.5 sacks in a year.
But he's like a tackle. Well, here's the thing: $43.5 million.
You're right. It's true. For a tackle's not a defensive end. That's fair.
His job is to create havoc. Okay, if his job is to draw double teams and to free it up for our linebackers, okay, that's what his job's to do. I want him to drawing double teams. So $43.5 million and $28.5 million.
It's a big contract for a 32-year-old.
Huge contract
for a 32-year-old.
And so you want me to read out some of these: $43 million, $48 million, $42 million, right? Not to mention the guards we just. The guys we signed.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, not the guards we both got to. Both of them are about the $40 million range. So let me tell you, would you rather, I'm giving you a hypothetical here, would you rather get 5 of these mid-tier guys or 1 superstar?
Probably 1 superstar.
Okay.
But those are harder to come by.
Are they?
I think so.
I think it costs
harder
more.
to get a move. Harder to get them to move. I think the superstar guys, those guys, like what I was saying to Big Cat's point before, is those guys you're going to need to trade for because those aren't the guys who are entering free unrestricted free agency. Yes,
which is kind of doesn't make you fearful, but it's just I'm just calling it what it is. All 5 of these guys aren't going to hit. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing. Hopefully some of them will. Yeah, if we can get even somebody that just proves themselves to be just a staple in our front.
It's not small money either.
Yeah.
If I signed a $42 million contract, John, I would be ecstatic.
Yeah.
We would be Gucci for a while.
Well, that being said, like I said, the money doesn't. I don't think the money matters as much for the Bears, but I think it does limit your ability to go out and get a superstar.
Well, yeah, this is what we did. That's what I'm just kind of putting it out there for you because it's you hope you get these mid-tier guys and you hope they pan out.
Yeah, I mean we got to prove that we can develop people, in which to this point it doesn't really seem like we have.
But in my opinion, when you get that second contract, yes, you can continue to develop, but it's not someone's going to take that huge step forward sort of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe a quarterback can, maybe a JF3 can. But is he on his 3rd contract?
No, Justin Fields. This is his first contract.
Yeah, it's his second contract because he got traded rookie, opted But what I'm saying though is that like these second contract guys, you kind of know what you're getting. You know what they are. They're a proven commodity in the league. Like I feel like what you pay for is you're paying for not risking that they're a complete bust.
And it's true, but you also could be. But the risk could be is like, are they on the downslope of their career? And in fact, as we're saying this, putting this on the wall, I'm putting this Grady Jarrett on the wall. 32-year-old paying him big money.
Scary.
Like he just came off an ACL tear in 2023.
Yeah.
So I think I think the headlines are all just like, yeah, the Bears would go out and get in the positions that we really needed, but are we getting guys that are true upgrades? Drew Dahlman absolutely is. Joe Tooney, Jonah Jacobson. Oh God, Jonah Jackson.
Yep.
I keep on screwing it up with J. Jonah Jameson from Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So I think those guys are obvious upgrades.
Yes.
Versus these two guys that we've gotten on the defensive line, I'm wondering if these they kind of just feel like more like depth role players, not somebody who's going to take the defense to the next level. We can hope. I think a lot of the downfall of the defense last year was when Billings got hurt,
yes.
our defensive tackle,
yes.
and when Brisker got hurt because he was a force kind of like stopping the run,
yes.
both those guys.
Yes.
So, I mean, you got Grady Jarrett and you got Billings back and healthy. Maybe we got a pretty solid offensive line, but I've got some skepticism there.
So let's talk a little bit. So when I think of defensive tackle, do you know when you think of defensive tackle, who do you think of?
You mean just all time?
Yeah, just like
For the Bears, the first one that comes to mind is Akeem Hicks.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't really thinking Bears. I'm just thinking when you think of defensive tackle, nose tackle, for example.
I was looking at the list of like the highest paid defensive, and it's crazy how little I know these guys' names.
Well, I was going to say, I think of Vince Wilfork. Do you remember him?
What is it? That I think it's like an old school.
Yeah.
Like the 350 pound
Yes.
guys who are just like mountains that you couldn't move.
Yes.
That's not the thing anymore.
But I'm just saying, like he was like the pinnacle of the nose tackle, like that one technique, right?
Yeah.
When do you think and I'm just using that because when do you think he retired? Like probably one of the best tackles of all time.
8 years ago.
How old do you think he was?
How old was he when he retired?
Yes.
34.
35.
Okay.
But I'm just saying that because this is like the GOAT of the tackle position, and he's retiring at 35.
Yeah.
And we just signed Jared Grady through.
He's 32 into his 35. Well, I mean, that's.
I'm just saying though, like one of the.
But he had an ACL tear that he's already dealing with.
And I'm just putting like Asian perspective. Like that's a pretty punishing position.
But Grady Jarrett, he has a second team All-Pro, 2-time Pro Bowler. Well, I guess it just really depends if there's still some gas in the tank.
I'm just trying to be a little skeptical here. Like, I don't want to be like last offseason when we were like, it's perfect.
Yes, yeah.
Rainbows.
Yes, no, and that's exactly what the wall is for. The wall for people who are new here are my hypothetical list of all the things that we could be sitting here 6 months from now being like, oh, we thought this was good, but it was actually a huge red flag.
We've learned. I feel like we're not in technically season 3 yet, are we? This is still season 2.
I don't think we've technically started season 3 yet.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe this would be season 3. No, it's. I don't remember when I arbitrarily decided season 2 was last year, but we're not in season 3.
Yeah. But through 2 almost complete seasons of doing this, I have learned to taper my expectations.
I feel like everybody has.
Exactly, right? And so like
because we thought that we were going to be pretty good last year.
Better than we thought we were going to be. Agreed. So
that's what brings us to our next topic.
But good moves on the surface.
So here's the thing. So these moves come out, and the way everyone was talking about them, like I obviously don't know these defensive guys, but the way everyone was talking about them, and I was kind of surprised. Like we've already made 4 or 5 really big moves. 5 if you count like the tight end that used to that has familiarity with Ben Johnson. But we addressed key positions, and we've been talking back and forth over the last couple of weeks about what the Bears should do with the 10th overall spot. And I was kind of surprised. I thought that maybe we would get like one offensive lineman in free agency, one defensive lineman in free agency, and then obviously just like continue to build that through the draft. The fact that we have filled so many of those spots does beg the question, are the Bears setting themselves up to not go with a defensive or offensive lineman at that 10th spot? So that brings us to Ashton Jeanty. And I want you, because I yelled at you in the unreleased podcast from a couple of weeks ago, I want you to make a case for why we should be considering drafting this guy.
Yeah, so let me start by just saying in general that his comp, can you remind me what his comp was?
LaDainian Tomlinson.
LT, arguably the greatest running back of all time.
Definitely arguably, but LT was fun.
LT
was fun. I mean, probably of our football watching lifetime, is like third or fourth best.
Do you remember his touchdown celebration?
No.
He was still like this, and he'd go like that, like a layup.
Yeah.
Love
I do know you like that.
I love that.
But you also loved the was it Larry Johnson, the Diamonds?
It's a Rockefeller Records.
We've known each other way too long.
I know that's old school.
That is an old one.
That is a very old one. Yeah, I do love Diamond in the Sky, but that's like Kanye, Jay-Z, Rockefeller Records, sort of Diamond in the Sky. But regardless of the point, so thinking about Jeanty, that I go. The thing is I heard an argument today for the other side, and I almost don't want to do it anymore.
Just for the sake of,
I know,
we're
but
talking about this.
I know.
The conversation even prompted my brother to text you. So I know. Say John's a nerd. We should get Jeanty.
Here's the thing, though. The thing about Jeanty is it's sexy. It's the pick that gets you hyped, right? Like when you look at that offensive line and where it's going, then like the offensive line set. Now all of a sudden you got Caleb, you got Jeanty, you got Keenan Allen, you got Rome Odunze, you got DJ Moore, you got Cole Kmet. Like the offensive weapons all of a sudden become like can't miss, and you think you addressed your offensive lineman.
Yeah.
And the thing I'm going to say is you think, and that's the problem. Like the way the Eagles won the Super Bowl was because they had the best offensive line and defensive line.
Yes.
And when you think you're set at line, John, you're not.
I know.
And so, but that's the counter argument, and that's why I'm like thinking that. Here's what I want them to do. I think Jeanty's literally an amazing talent and unbelievable. However their board is, take the best available. And like if Jeanty's number one, but if you have a tackle or you have a guard, or even a guard even at 10, if you have or a defensive tackle or defensive end that you really really like and they fell to you, take him.
Yeah.
But Jeanty, if they were to take Jeanty, it would be very cool. It would be very hype.
So yeah, it would be fun because it's fun to it's fun to draft a ball carrier.
Exactly.
Because he's the guy.
Position.
He's the guy whose jersey you're going to buy.
Exactly.
And I get that.
Yes.
But that being said, it's just like again, I was
sexy.
I was open to this because it seemed like on the day of like the free agency, like wow, we just addressed like a lot of our needs. Maybe we don't need to like use this pick here. But that being said, our tackles aren't great.
Yes.
You can still make the argument that we still need a left tackle.
Yeah.
And I do think that we probably need another edge rusher. And we probably need another maybe safety or cornerback type. I don't know. So I think
here's the thing about Jeanty though. Have you seen his highlight films?
I'm gonna tell you I have not seen much film.
Granted, he played for Boise State, which is Mountain West. So take that with a grain of salt. But dude, he is legitimately it is nasty how good he is. And the LaDainian Tomlinson comps are fine. Highlights.
Let's just go for it.
Click it. Go. It is just.
This is the Emirates Premium.
You don't have YouTube Premium?
I don't.
Okay.
You're the one who's told me that I have every subscription service out there. And I spend so much time on YouTube, I probably should have YouTube Premium.
It's worth it. You know what I think they should do? I have YouTube TV. They should give me YouTube Premium for free with YouTube
You
TV.
would think.
You would think,
All right, let's see here.
So, who, what? Okay.
You're speechless.
He got touched how many times? And granted, I understand it's against Southern Georgia.
I know, man. That's the thing. It's just
fine, go farther ahead. But
does that look like an NFL play to you? If we're gonna talk about we talked about Caleb's stuff, and Caleb's downside was just he can make these off platform throws, but is that really what you want?
It's a closer game than I thought it was going to be, honestly. But he's got the breakaway speed. He's got everything. His only downfall is that literally he probably carried the ball too much. Oh, this is against Oregon. This is a legitimate, competent team.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see what he did.
I'm sure he had a great game. Just look at this breakaway speed.
He was touched there though.
But look at the breakaway speed.
You're right. So he's fast. Okay, that's good.
Remember, he's too fast.
No, he just doesn't wait for plays to develop.
Do you see how he's standing in the background? He's Okay, let's get off.
Who's the guy who like was standing flat-footed?
That's him.
That's him.
That's him.
Oh, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
All right, fine. I'm on board.
Yeah, dude. Look at him back there. Look at him back
That
there.
is funny.
Yeah,
Okay, I
dude.
didn't realize that was him.
Yeah, dude.
I remember those memes.
He's like Freddy Krueger back there, just ready to just absolutely destroy you. Like, dude, he's the real deal. Like, there's no question that he is absolutely talented.
Well, here's the thing of the matter is like it's just kind of going back to, and you know what, like running backs are falling back into favor just because Saquon Barkley had the season that he did.
Well, not only Barkley, but Josh Jacobs.
But the points, Josh Jacobs
had a great year. Aaron Jones had another great year.
But you know what, it's still a matter of just like
of all the big running back signings, the only one who had a bad year was DeAndre Swift.
So few of these running backs make it to a second contract with the team that drafted them.
Are you not impressed though? Like, whoop. What is Chris Burns doing?
He's a dynamic player, and you know what? I'm not good at evaluating.
Well, you know what he can
I'm not good at evaluating dynamic players in the NCAA.
Look at that. Do you know what it will do though? You run a play action now with Caleb on this. You have to respect this man getting the ball.
But you know what the thing is? Like, what it comes down to is I'm not out on DeAndre Swift. And you were Mr. DeAndre, so no, what, you're out on him now?
Ben Johnson is.
I don't. I'm not sure. I believe that.
I believe that.
We'll see.
Even if Ben Johnson likes a 2-back system, like, you worried about Miles? Look at him, dude. The motor is just.
He drops the ball going into the end zone a lot
because he knows he's in.
Well, they're not going to show the ones where he let go of it too early in the highlight.
He doesn't. He doesn't let go too early. I mean, the thing is that these are chunk plays. Like, look at him. He's just like, I watched him one game, and I was just like, man, like, they just give him the ball like 30 times a game. That's my only fear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got a lot of mileage on him already. All right, so, I mean, but I'm still of the mind. It's just like...
Look at this. 2,600 yards rushing, 29 touchdowns.
That's pretty nuts. 7 yards to carry. That is Gaunty. Yeah.
At any level, playing any competition... That is insane, John.
His entire career rushing above 5 and getting better year by year. Dude, how many rushing attempts? I don't think it says here.
On top of that, he 23,
374. How many games are there in college?
I don't. It's weird with the bowl games now. I don't really know. I guess if you went down, you can see his game log if you wanted.
30 carries, 32 carries, 37.
That's
carries.
what I'm saying, dude.
That's crazy.
They literally gave him the ball.
Like half of the plays were probably designed rushes.
At Penn State, like they lost.
Not
that
a receiving
game.
Back. They
didn't need to give him that's what DeAndre Swift can be.
Oh, you're right. It could be.
Dude, at that 31-14 loss, look at his rushing. Did he score both touchdowns? No touchdowns. All they did was give that man the ball.
And he only rushed for 3.5.
And I bet because they knew what to do. They knew how to stop them.
All right. So. Like I said,
you're in on him though now, huh?
I'm not in on him.
Yes, you are.
Like,
if they draft
it would be fun.
How cool would it be?
It would be fun. No, I would be upset. It would immediately go on the wall because we do not have the luxury. Just because we added 3 guys to our offensive line, which had like 0 good players on it before. You know, we still need depth. Mm-hmm. We still need the next crop of people who are going to take these like veterans' place in 3 or 4 years potentially. So I'm pretty much drafting offensive or defensive edge. I would commit to edge. I think either we go for a left tackle or we get defensive edge. If those things aren't available, then fine. And that being said, I think a lot of people think that the Raiders are going to go with Jeanty, and then he's not even going to drop to the Bears.
I mean, yeah, that's...
So we'll see. We'll see how that lands, but I'm just formally going to say I'm not going to be angry about it, but I think it is a very big red flag. Tom Waddle described the Torrey Taylor draft last year as like a luxury pick that they didn't deserve to make, and you know what? It rang true. As much as we kind of loved Torrey Taylor early in the season and like when that draft pick happened, and I was very much on board, it's true. Like we had too many needs to address, and the fact that there's such a strong contingent of Chicago Bears fans who are saying we need another running back right now when we don't have the basics, the meat and potatoes of our offense and defense settled yet.
You know what one of my favorite, like those work sayings are?
What?
Don't boil the ocean.
Yeah.
And like, whatever. One of my favorite work analogies or workisms or whatever is we got to get the blocking and tackling down.
Yeah.
And and I'm going to take that saying and move it to literally where it comes from.
Yeah.
Football.
Yeah.
You have to fucking get the blocking and tackling down first.
Yes.
But more specifically, the blocking.
Before you go
Yes.
before you go and draft the guy who is rushing 30 times a game going against Division II athletes.
They're not Division II athletes.
I know. But anyway.
Let me just so I looked at mock drafts real quick.
Sure.
So where they're at right now, so there's the 33rd team, which is pretty accurate, CBS Sports, PFF, and then the Athletic. I think the Athletic's more of a wild card, the only non-legitimate potentially.
Mm-hmm.
So two of them have Jeanty going to Vegas at 6, and the other two have Jeanty going to the Bears at 10.
In the ones that don't have the Bears taking him, who do they have the Bears taking?
Tackle from
Left.
Missouri.
Okay.
Just as offensive tackle.
Offensive tackle.
And then a edge rusher from Texas A&M.
Okay.
Sherman Stewart.
Okay.
But
Which is what I'd expect and which is what I would advocate for.
And then who do they have? I'm curious. Vegas, they have them taking.
I am not.
They have Vegas taking the same tackle as the Bears or a
Who's cornerback in Vegas? Right? Oh, Bradford. Bradford went to Seattle. Who's going to be slinging it in Vegas right now? Do we know?
Former Jet.
We think it's going to be Aaron Rodgers.
No, former Jet and former Seattle Seahawk. He may have had another step somewhere along the way.
Geno Smith?
Yes, Geno Smith.
Geno
I was say from West Virginia, first round pick. Yeah.
Okay, so Geno Smith.
Geno Smith.
Okay, that's right. He reunited. I heard reunited with Pete Carroll, but I forgot that their times overlapped.
Yeah, I heard. I heard also Pete Carroll's looking to sign Marshawn Lynch at running back. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Maybe.
I did hear he wanted to get Russ though.
So next up,
JF3 baby,
our boy, friend of the podcast, Justin Fields. We were probably the first people in the city of Chicago to be out on Justin Fields.
We were
officially.
so out.
Yes,
I wish we blew up like faster from that because I was like I sent you the episode when I said the Tank for Caleb episode. Like it was super early in the season.
So what was Justin's? So 2-year, $40 million deal. So $20 million a year. Very modest. Obviously, the Jets are moving away from Aaron Rodgers, but Justin Fields is going to get another opportunity. Presumably, is going to get another opportunity to start. They could fuck him again and maybe just like draft a quarterback. I could see that happening, and that would be hilarious. That would just be like a poor Justin Fields situation. But poor Justin Fields is still making $20 million a year.
You know what
and he's won like single-digit games. I think maybe single. No, I think double-digit.
Yeah, because he was like 5-1 with the Steelers. But what I would
4-0.
Yeah, what I would say about Justin Fields going to the Jets, even if they do draft a quarterback, like Justin Fields can be a bridge quarterback for you.
Yeah. Like, I think that's probably what you got to do.
Yeah, that's what a 2-year, $40 million deal
Yeah,
sounds.
like they'll probably not draft a quarterback this year, and then they will next year.
Can you imagine the negotiations, like how it went?
No.
It would probably be like my agent, like how about you or I'll be the agent. I'll be Justin wants a 5-year deal. What are you going to say to that? You're the Jets.
No.
Oh, what about a 4-year deal?
And Gardner Minshew is out picking through our trash right now, so we're going to go ask him what he wants, and he probably just wants some cutoff shorts and a 12er of PBR.
Yeah.
And Justin's like, fair point.
Exactly.
How about $40 million?
Like I could just see that contract negotiation being like, what is Justin like 5 years, and then the Jets say 1 year. Then they go, okay, 4 years, 1 year, 3 years, 1 year.
Who do you think that this deal is a bigger win for, Justin Fields or the Jets?
I think it's a mutually beneficial deal for both.
I would call it a better deal for Justin Fields.
Why?
That he's getting the opportunity.
Well, I think that this is underplayed right there.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson. He's throwing to Garrett Wilson.
His boy.
So I want to.
Go ahead, play it.
I do want to. I don't know who this guy is. Where did he go?
He's a nerd.
He's
a Mets fan.
Yes. So I just want to highlight this here.
I love it. What's not to love? Look, it's everything a fan of a bad football team wants. Young QB, shown flashes in the past, was in the wrong system with the wrong coach. Fast, fun, Brees Hall, Justin Fields. Who was Justin Fields' #1 wide receiver in college? Garrett fucking Wilson. Who does he play for?
The Jets.
The New York Jets. It's 2 years,
Like
$20 million each year. It's a low-risk move. Justin Fields has shown flashes that he is a good quarterback. He played for the fucking Bears. Oh, but you're the fucking Jets. I know, but you have to believe. You gotta believe. And
Two bad franchises.
This new coaching staff knows how to develop QBs. The guy, I think his name's like Tanner Engstrom or some dumb shit.
Okay, so but the idea of just like here's what Justin Fields going back.
Yeah.
So he highlighted all of the pie in the sky visions about like why you should still be on Justin Fields, and it's just like he's shown flashes, and he was of the wrong system, wrong coach.
Yep.
But I don't buy it. Like we watched him.
Yeah.
Like I know his mechanics aren't there.
Yeah.
Like he can't.
He's a running back.
He can't read a defense.
Yeah.
Like he is never going to take you to that next level. Maybe he could be exciting. And to his point, he's just basically we just need something to be excited about.
Sure.
And Justin Fields is a ton of fun to watch. But if you were a serious football team, which the Jets aren't.
Nope.
And the Jets aren't seriously thinking they're going to be good anytime soon. So like, why not? We'll watch Justin Fields run around for cheap, like a half-price quarterback for 2 years until you kind of get your situation figured out.
Go back
and then
real
go from
quick.
there. Go back to what?
Go back to the very start of the meme over the video.
The video?
Yeah.
Sure.
You could even see it there. Is that a 2 or a 3?
God damn it! I love it. I love it.
That's a 3.
That's a 3, isn't it? That's what I said. That's a 3, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
JF3.
Yeah, I'm hoping he goes with 3.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I think it is a 3 too.
JF 40 million. That's what I'm going to call him from now on.
The thing though is that like I do believe I do agree with you. I think it's a good move. I think it's a mutually beneficial move because the Jets are a franchise that are arguably all of New York franchises right now are a joke. Mm-hmm. Like football, I'm talking about like the Jets and Giants.
The Yankees are just in the World Series.
That's why I qualified it, and the Knicks are pretty good, honestly. Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying though, like it's a good win for everyone. Like it's a great landing spot for JF3 and like. Or JF40, whatever we want to call him.
JF 40 million, man.
Good for him. I mean,
the $40 million man, Justin Fields.
How do you think he does? Or you want to do this one?
Let's see this first. So this is Brie Delio. I like her. She's funny. And she has a lot of really very bad takes. But this one just kind of exemplifies Chicago's just like Stockholm syndrome that we develop with Justin Fields. Just like how everyone just for some reason, like I don't think there's ever been a player on Chicago sports. I don't even think Derrick Rose had this kind of like once he left, this kind of like following and people just rooting for him and just being like, oh, we did him so dirty. Like, no, I mean, obviously people rooted for Derrick Rose, but they weren't like digging their heels in the ground like for this shit.
What about Jimmy Butler?
New York Jets quarterback.
No way.
Not necessarily words that I thought would come out of my mouth as a Chicago Bears fan, but I like it for both sides. Because Justin Fields' best years as a quarterback are ahead of him. Let me say it again. Justin Fields' best years as a quarterback are ahead of him. Because when he was drafted by the Chicago Bears, he was not set up for success at all. The Bears are an organization known for ruining quarterbacks, okay?
I am just like not in for like the whole setup for success thing. Like if you are really a great quarterback that's going to make the next level, the argument was just like if you're still asking yourself after this amount of time, then obviously you don't have the guy. And like we saw the best of what Justin Fields can do, and he is a 2-year, $40 million bridge quarterback. That's what he is.
So what do you think about Caleb Williams when he got drafted here to the Chicago Bears? Was it a good situation?
Better than Justin's. Definitely better than Justin's.
And what's your opinion of Caleb Williams?
I still like Caleb Williams because I think that he can be built.
Don't you think he persevere through a bad situation and make the playoff? Maybe go to the NFC Championship game.
What are you getting at here?
I'm just you said like it doesn't matter. I don't play into the narrative of being drafted to a bad situation.
I think
because Caleb went to an awful situation.
And Caleb, well, yeah, it didn't end up being an awful situation.
It was an awful situation.
Yes, it did end up being an awful situation. We thought it was going to be a good situation.
A coordinator who was shaking.
Yeah, and fired halfway through the season. Matt Eberflus, I think, was just non-existent in running that offense.
And then his head coach getting axed for not calling a timeout.
Yeah.
And then the former passing game coordinator gets promoted to head coach.
And that being said, I think
that's not a good situation.
And that being said,
and we still believe
all of Caleb's numbers are better than Justin's.
Well, because they're different players. But I'm just saying, though, all of that being said, bad situations do occur, and Justin Fields had a poor situation.
He did have a bad situation, but as someone, I think that maybe I'm overestimating my ability to evaluate quarterback play.
No. Justin Fields isn't that good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what it comes down to.
But he did have a bad. But
you just ended the conversation, and that's just the way I feel. Justin Fields isn't that good.
But he didn't have a good situation either.
And everyone needs to believe me when I say it. Justin Fields just isn't that good.
He could be better though. He could be exciting. Actually, I want to pose a question to you.
Yes.
Who had the worst situation? Mitch, Fields, or Caleb?
The answer is probably Caleb, because Caleb lost his head coach and his offensive coordinator mid-year.
Yes,
but
they had the best team.
There was an earnest attempt to make things better for Caleb Williams. They got the wide receivers. They thought they went out and got like a good offensive coordinator. I think that there was never like an earnest attempt to with the exception of drafting or going out and getting DJ Moore, there wasn't really much that was given to Justin Fields to help him make this offense. So I don't think that as much was put in and invested into Justin Fields the way that it was Caleb Williams. That's completely true. So this kind of goes back to my poor Justin Fields thing. So two things can be true: that the Bears did not do enough to help Justin Fields succeed, and also Justin Fields is just not that good. Those two things can be true.
I think, with all that being said, I think Mitch had the worst situation of all.
No way.
Dude, hang on. The kid came in. He started 8 games at North Carolina. The Bears move up to number 2, trading away the city to draft him.
Yeah.
A relatively unknown guy. He only started 8 games at North Carolina.
Yeah.
He was not pro ready. And he gets tossed into...
And you know who's in the group chat being like, what the fuck are we doing the night of the draft?
Yeah,
It was fucking me, man. It was fucking me.
But I'm just saying, I think he had the worst situation of all of them.
I don't think so, because they went out and they got the offensive guru, whiz kid at the time, which was Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy went
after firing, who was it? Who did they fire? Was that Fox?
Was it Fox beforehand?
Yeah.
So they went out and got him. Allen Robinson had some good time there. I think Mitch did have a good offensive line at that time.
Remember, you can never take it away from him. The MVP.
He won the MVP. He went to the Pro Bowl.
MVP.
He had a Pro Bowl. Matt Nagy was Coach of the Year. I don't think Mitch had a worse situation than Justin. I think Justin was in a true rebuild, let's give away all of our players and start this from scratch. So Justin definitely had the raw end of the deal. But anyway, that's we've done entire episodes on Justin Fields, and apparently we are going to continue to do so. Personally, I'm hyped the fact that he's going to be in the starting lineup. Hopefully, they'll draft someone in the first round, I bet. But you sent me this. We're going to round out with this. New faces, new places. So Zach Wilson will inevitably be getting some starting time when Tua
gets concussed.
Has a stroke. Yeah.
So the reason I want to go through these that we're going to go through is that these are names that are familiar names and familiar faces that you tend to pick up on the waiver wire because of injuries. And so I bet
for fantasy.
Yes. Not only for fantasy, but you kind of forget about them, and then someone gets hurt, and all of a sudden they become relevant.
Then week 2 you'll be like, oh wow, Zach Wilson's on the sideline of Miami. Yeah.
Exactly. That's why we're going to go through these real quick. So Zach Wilson will get a couple starts this year.
I wish they had the numbers here.
Kenny Pickett. Maybe the starting quarterback in Cleveland.
Another guy who I think probably deserves a shot to see what he can actually do.
No, he's super mid from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, probably.
Matt Collins, he's the Patriots.
Where did he come from?
Buffalo. Yeah, he's the guy who's feet prison. Josh Palmer. This is interesting.
Who is Josh Palmer?
So he was from I think Chargers last year, I believe, as well. He was pretty relevant when Keenan Allen got hurt, and Mike Williams. He's the number 1. Oh, he was on the Rams last year, actually. Pretty good. He's a pretty good ball player. Christian Kirk. There were word of him coming up to Chicago, if you remember hearing that. He's a slot guy, not bad in Jacksonville.
Christian Kirk is one of those guys that I only know from times when I'm picking him up on the waiver wire in fantasy.
That's what I'm saying.
And I've just never been all that impressed.
Well, that's what I'm saying. These are guys that you know from fantasy football.
He's a guy that you're okay, Trevor Lawrence is finally going to take off. It's going to be Christian Kirk.
Yes.
Justin Watson.
I don't really know who that is. I think he's the tight end, maybe. I don't know who he is.
Elijah Mitchell.
That's a big signing.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know who this is.
The missile?
I don't know who this is.
The running back. He was all the rage when Christian McCaffrey went down.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Okay, I do remember that now.
Does this guy watch football?
Fair enough. All right. I would like to see the Chiefs make bigger moves and finally actually get a playmaker than this.
They don't have any money.
But they just got rid of Joe Tooney. I don't know. I don't know.
Jacoby Brissett?
Yeah.
He'll probably start a game or two because Kyler's going to get hurt.
Yeah, could be. Josh Dobbs.
The Pasternauts. Still getting jobs. New England, good place for him to go with April. I probably get a. You may not get a start. This is DTR. Do you remember DTR?
I don't.
So DTR was like the Redskins. Was he Redskins? He was Redskins backup Commanders.
Yeah, you really threw it out there.
And then he went to the Browns. He started a couple games last year for the Browns. So that's a good spot for him to go. DTR's got a lot of hype on him. But
it's fun seeing the shifts. You know, in a way, just because there's so many players on a team in an NFL, it's kind of fun. Versus, like, I don't feel like I like it as much when I'm seeing a lot of movement in things like the NBA or even the MLB.
It's so boring.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, because, I mean, you definitely want, like, the core group of guys that are, like, you know, your franchise guys. But at the same time, you know, for the NFL, it just kind of seems interesting and fun.
Before we wrap up, can you do me a favor? Can you, Shohei just dropped a shoe. Check it out. Tell me what the Shohei?
Oh, a shoe.
Yeah.
Okay.
The New Balance is called the Shohei Ones.
Shohei Ones. Shohei, next up.
Do Shohei shoe.
Shoe deal. New Balance, huh?
Yeah, they just dropped these. They came up in my feed. What do you think?
New Balance trying to get away from dad shoes. These look a little trendier. I kind of like them. I don't think I could pull them off.
I mean, I'm not a shoe guy, a sneakerhead, but like I saw them, I was like, they're kind of cool.
Are these all? Otani 1 Labworks turf baseball shoes.
Look at the trainers. They have trainers.
Trainers.
I think that's
what is it? What is a trainer?
I think it's like everyday wear.
New Balance turf baseball shoes. Turf baseball shoes. Trainer baseball shoes.
There you go.
Well, I mean, it still says baseball shoe.
Well, there's the 3 colors. Yeah, this is it.
I think they're pretty clean.
Yeah, they're tight, right?
I like New Balance. New Balance, I think, is coming up.
Oh, dude.
I feel like they were a little bit of a joke back in the day.
They were
like
the joke.
Like the shoes that your dad wore to mow the lawn.
Yeah, but now like all the girls, my wife's got a couple pair of New Balances, and
I think it's overtaking Adidas.
Well, you know, they really screwed it with
Derrick Rose.
Really tied their.
They paid him a lot of money.
And then, like, dude,
to not play a lot of basketball.
You guys tearing his ACLs left and right.
Well,
and
you know, but Derrick Rose had a good long career. I'm sure he sold a fair share of New Balances. Adidas's. Isn't Steph Curry New Balance? No, he's Under Armour. Okay, Under Armour sucks.
Dude,
remember, like, we were all on Under Armour in high school. Yeah, it sucked. Yeah, we were slaves.
I had to buy a pair.
We were slaves of that marketing. Yeah. They were shit cleats.
I had to buy a pair of Nikes halfway through the season because mine ripped.
Yeah, they sucked.
They were awful cleats. Awful cleats.
All right. So that's pretty much all I got. So, guys, who should the Bears go with in the first round? With the first round draft pick, should we go Ashton Jeanty? Should we go offensive line? You know, maybe I'm wrong. You know, I'd be willing to contend, like, hey, if you want to say, John, there's really not anyone from a defensive tackle perspective or a defensive end perspective that is either going to be available or worth a 10th overall pick. So I could be wrong about that. So I mean, but I'm just not of the mind best person off the board. I think we got to fill our needs, and running back I just feel is not one of our needs.
I just wanted to watch more film on Jeanty. Okay. Just more highlights.
I'm you know what? I'm super hyped that he was the guy that was the one in just like the dead stance.
Yeah, dude.
That's kind of funny.
Dude, he's awesome.
That being said, how well will that transition to the NFL?
So, really quick, let's just so he didn't know who Jeanty was, and then he saw like, oh, that's that same guy. Like, so can we really even take his opinion? Does he even know how good he is?
That is a completely fair point. I'm not speaking as someone who doesn't think that Ashton Jeanty is.
You're just saying a running back.
I would no running back. I think.
What if I told you he was the next LaDainian Tomlinson?
Sure. Yeah. Tell me he's the next LaDainian Tomlinson. Sure.
What if I told you he was the next Joe Mixon?
No. I'd say no.
Okay.
I'd say no.
I think Joe Mixon's pretty solid.
Joe Mixon is pretty solid. And he's got some longevity.
I was going to say, I think Joe Mixon's pretty... What about the next Matt Forte?
I'd say yes. Yeah. I'd say yes. Is Matt Forte... Am I just being a homer? Is Matt Forte better than Joe Mixon?
He was utilized wrong. What about Monte? What if he was Monty?
No. I would not say.
No, another David Montgomery?
No, definitely not.
I thought he was pretty good. I liked Monty a lot. All right, one other one I'll give. 2 other ones I'll give you. What if he's the next Marshawn Lynch?
Yes, I guess you can't argue with that. I mean, yes,
okay.
If he's the next Marshawn Lynch. But but like it's also like, do those players exist anymore?
Like Belkhouse?
Yeah.
Like
the ground and pound guys.
Like
Like
I'm talking
not even bell cows, but just like the physical runners.
But I'm more talking like game-changing running backs, like the type of game changers, they like impact guys that they have. Last one I'm going to throw out there for you, and you tell me if you would take it or not. What if he is the next CMC?
Then yes.
Okay.
Minus the injuries. Actually, no. So you're going to tell me he's going to have CMC's career? I'd say no.
Okay.
You know, is that a hot take to say that CMC's career is? I'm glad that he never played for the Bears. I guess he brought him to a Super Bowl. They were very close to winning it. And I guess his career's not over, so we'll see.
He's having a kid.
You did say that's the end of it.
Yeah, I did.
All right. Guys, if you're still watching, you're a real one. We'll see you guys next week. Follow us for more content about how the single guys are playing up. It's late. Peace.
How long will this episode? It's been a minute.